This video is sponsored by Ritual. We're into fall with winter right around the corner, and a good pot of chili is the perfect food for this season. And today I'm going to be showing you my favorite chili recipe. Now this chili you could make in a slow cooker, you could cook it on the stovetop, but one of the things that really works in making this recipe that I found is using the oven. It's an oven-baked chili, and for that we're going to be using a Dutch oven. Now you can use any oven-safe pot, but a nice heavy Dutch oven, and this is my enameled Dutch oven, works really well because you're cooking it from all sides. You're not cooking with a fire underneath. You've just got that nice warmth all the way around, which is surrounding your chili. Now before we get started here, you should be preheating your oven to 275 degrees. This is going to cook in the oven once we've got everything going here for probably 2 to 3 hours. And I have my induction burner out here so we can see things more easily, because one of the things you want to do is you want to get these ingredients up to temp before you put it into the oven. You don't really want to throw them in there cold. It's just going to slow down the cooking time. Now I'm going to turn my induction burner on to power level 3. You might hear a fan because it has a fan built in. And we're going to add just a little bit of olive oil here. First ingredient is going to be 1 red onion that's been chopped up. Now I'm going to add an orange bell pepper that's been chopped up, all the seeds removed. You could use a yellow or a red, I would not use a green. I've got 1 small Serrano chili pepper with the seeds removed that I've chopped up. Just stir this around a little bit. Now I'm going to add the meat, and what I'm using is 3 pounds of leftover brisket. This is brisket that I had left over from a brisket cook. I vacuum sealed it and froze it, and I just thawed it out the other day. But you could go straight from frozen into here because it's already cooked, and this is just going to tenderize more as it's in here. This is a mixture of point and flat that's been cut up. So this is going to be a nice meaty chili. Now if you don't have anything left over, you could cook up a chuck roast. That's great in this. But you don't want to go raw meat into this because it's going to take too long to cook. I would pre-cook it, pre-smoke it, and then add it to your chili. Now I'm going to add 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. And those are 28-ounce cans. And we just want to kind of stir everything here. And now for our seasonings going in. I'm going to add first 2 tablespoons of ground cumin. Next up, 2 teaspoons of a coarsely ground black pepper, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 tablespoon of chili powder. I'm using an ancho chili powder. Final ingredient, 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. Yeah, you heard that right. It really helps bring a lot of other flavors into this and kind of heightens the other spices. And that's unsweetened. Don't use the sweetened kind. We're not making chocolate milk. Let's stir everybody in here. Now sometimes at this stage I will add a little bit of tomato puree, tomato sauce, just to thin it out a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe about 6 or 7 ounces. All right, we have warmed up nicely here. We're not looking for simmer or boil or anything, just the ingredients warmed up. So we're going to get the lid on here and we're going to get it into the oven. So in about an hour, we'll check our chili, see if we need to add any liquid to thin it out a bit if it's thickening too much. I like to use vegetable stock for that. We'll also taste it to see if we need to adjust for seasoning, because that's really a good time to do that. We can always add some salt, we can always add some pepper. This is undoubtedly going to be delicious, but dishes like this aren't always part of a perfect diet. That's where Ritual can help. Ritual helps fill those gaps in your diet, and they do it without the addition of any shady fillers, additives, or colorants. For me, Essentials for Men has 10 nutrients that are part of a foundation for health. I love the fact that Ritual is big on transparency when it comes to their ingredients. I can see where they source their nutrients and why. And they're not just trying to be good to you, they're trying to be good to the planet by using 100% recyclable material in their mailers. Even the ink they use is plant-based. Ritual is obsessive about getting things right. Their multivitamin is a delayed release capsule that's gentle on an empty stomach, delivering nutrients like vitamin A, D, omega-3, and zinc, which are hard for men to get just through diet alone. And Ritual has vitamins to support women, men, those over 50, prenatal and postnatal, even a teen vitamin. Their vitamins are vegan-friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, allergen-free, and there's no added sugar. For just $1 a day, you can have 10 high-quality nutrients that your body needs delivered to your door every month. No strings attached and no extra charge. And if you want more than vitamins, they have a new symbiotic for gut health and essential protein powder for delicious shakes. Start a new Ritual and fill the gaps in your diet with a multivitamin that's just for you. To take that small step in supporting a healthy foundation for your body, Ritual is offering 20% off your first month by going to ritual.com/cookingwithrye. All right, our chili's been going for an hour. Let's take a look. Ooh, that is looking good. Oh, it smells great. And you can feel the meat in here starting to tenderize even more. I mean, this was smoked brisket, so it was already tender, but as it comes up to temp here, it just starts to tenderize even more. And always remember, when you're working with cast iron, gloves. Let's get a quick little taste here and see if we need to adjust for seasoning. That's pretty good. Ooh, but it does need a little bit of salt. Just gonna give it a little bit here, maybe half a teaspoon total. Give that a stir. But it's got a great color on it right now, and it's thickening just nicely. I don't need to add any liquid right now. I mean, the total cook time on this, I find, is usually somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5 hours. It can take a little longer sometimes or a little less, but I'm not gonna check this for another hour, and then we'll see if we do need to add any liquid. But right now we're doing great, so let's get this back in the oven and let it keep baking. All right, let's check our chili. It's actually been a total of 2.5 hours. I ended up getting tied up with something at the 2-hour mark, so couldn't get to it. And that's the beauty of doing something like this, especially in cast iron in the oven. It's not a harsh cook. You're not over a direct flame where you might scorch something. So letting it go an extra half hour is not really gonna hurt it. So let's take a look and see how it is. Oh, wow. That color is perfect. Look at that. Now, for those of you who like beans with chili, you could absolutely put beans in this if you wanted. I'm doing a chili without beans this time. I love chili with beans, but not this time. Let me get a taste here and see how we're doing flavor-wise. That's what I want. Really, really rich, deep flavor. And that's one of the things that cocoa powder does, that unsweetened cocoa powder. It just kind of lifts all the other flavors and spices. Wonderful addition to chili. So now this is going to get its lid on, and it's gonna sit over just on the top of the stove, no burner going, just sitting there, because we're gonna move on to making our cornbread. And as this sits over there on the oven in cast iron, it's gonna stay warm. That's a wonderful thing about cast iron. It just retains heat. This is gonna sit there, stay warm. This will be warm in an hour or two still, so we've got plenty of time. Now with our chili out of the oven and just sort of staying warm in that nice cast iron Dutch oven, you wanna make sure the oven is now at 400 degrees. It's been at 275, so turn it up to 400 degrees. We need to preheat it for our cornbread. And this cornbread is super easy, but super tasty. This is a classic cornbread recipe. We're gonna start with a cup of yellow cornmeal. Next up, a cup of all-purpose flour. Now, if you want to make this gluten-free cornbread, you could use gluten-free all-purpose flour like the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. I've noticed that it doesn't quite rise as much, but it still tastes great. We've got a 1/4 cup of regular white granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Let's just whisk our dry ingredients together here to get those combined. It's always a good idea if you're having a mixture of wet ingredients and dry ingredients to get all the dry in first and mix them up unless the recipe doesn't call for it. Now we're going to add 1 cup of whole milk, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and 2 eggs. We're going to get in here and get all this mixed together. I like to start with the whisk and then I'll move on to a rubber spatula. And we don't need to over mix this. We just want to make sure everything is combined, nothing is dry. I'm going to switch to a spatula here. Scrape those sides, scrape the bottom. And this is enough cornmeal batter for about a 9-inch round cake pan. I'm going to be using my cast iron pie pan because I just like that presentation when it comes out like pie slices. Okay, that is looking good. Let's get it into our cast iron pie pan. And like I said, if you don't have a cast iron pie pan, just a 9-inch cake pan will work fine. So here's my cast iron pie pan. It basically just mimics the size of a regular pie pan, maybe a little bit deeper. What I want to do is I want to give this just a light coating of butter in here. So I'm just going to take a stick of butter, go around the edges, the bottom, get in that corner down there. Just helps the cornbread release when it's time. Also adds a little flavor. Let's get our batter in here. I'm gonna get everybody out here. Don't let anybody stay in the bowl. It's too tasty. Let's clean up this edge a little bit here. All right, our oven is at 400 degrees. We're gonna get this in. It's gonna bake for probably 25 to 30 minutes. That's my oven. The real test is when a toothpick goes in the center and comes out clean. No batter sticking to it. So I'll check that and I'll see you back here when it's done. Here is our cornbread. You can see 2 pokes right there. I checked it once at 25 minutes. It needed just a little bit more, and that second poke with the toothpick was at 30 minutes. And again, this is all about every oven being different. Yours might take more, might take less. I've kind of gotten used to mine, and it is in that 25 to 30 minute range usually when making cornbread in the cast iron pan. So I'm gonna let this cool for about 20 minutes before we have a taste with that amazing chili. So our cornbread has just been sort of cooling down a little bit for 20, 25 minutes. Let's cut a slice so we can get ready to taste our chili. So let's see, it's still a little warm. I'm gonna kind of go from the middle here. We'll cut like a pie slice. It's in a pie pan. Let's see if I can lift it up with the knife. Oh, there we go. Let's get this on a plate here. And let's move on to dishing up some chili. Let's get our chili nice and close here. Oh yeah, really hot still. You can see that steam coming up. Cast iron holds temperature so well. Maybe just a little shredded cheese on top here. We'll get our cornbread over here too. And there it is, our brisket chili made in the oven, homemade cornbread. Let's have a taste. And I'm gonna try some cornbread first because I just love cornbread. Now, you can put anything you want on cornbread. I love to put honey on it, but I'm just gonna go straight here just to get the flavor. I wanna see how we did. Here we go. The cornbread is incredibly moist. I love doing it in cast iron. It's almost like it seals the bottom when it does that because that cast iron gets so hot it gives it a nice crisp there, holds in moisture, just terrific. To me, this is almost like dessert with the chili. Now, some of our chili here. Here we go. I know leftover brisket might not be a thing sometimes because it all gets eaten up. But if you have a chance to save some, do, because chili is the perfect use for it. It is so tender. Think about it. You've already smoked it and now you've baked it in the oven in chili, tenderizing it more. It is just fall apart tender. Now, let's go for a piece with some cornbread with some chili because that is a great combination. Cheers. The cornbread just soaks in that flavor. You could pour chili over the cornbread. I've done that before. This chili though will stand alone. It doesn't need cornbread, it's just a great accompaniment. I'm glad I paired them together, but this chili is great. Thanks again to Ritual for sponsoring this video. And remember, Ritual is offering 20% off your first month by going to ritual.com/cookingwithrye